7:57 p.m. 6:57. That time is wrong.
Always.
It's
always.
6:57 p.m. Welcome to the African Advisory Council General Board meeting. Just a little on the council. The council was formulated about 6 years ago. The primary purpose of the council was to serve as a conduit between the African community and the city and state government. These folks that you see on the council, they represent various communities, from the Ghanaian community to the Senegalese community to the Malian community, and they all serve on leadership role within these communities. So the monthly meetings is to come to discuss issues. These issues they then take back to that community, their respective community. So I just want to special welcome to my friends at NYPD for being here. Welcome. Friends at Baruch. Welcome. From BCC. Welcome from the Senegalese community and elected officials at large. Before we start, like always, we must start with an opening prayer. Lawrence, can you please open us with a prayer?
Oh God, our Heavenly Father.
From last meeting, from our secretary, Mohamed Diallo.
Hello everyone, how are you? I must first apologize for being late. I won't give any excuses, just had a long day. Thank you for being patient with me. We had quite a full house last month, and education, health, and what they're doing for kids, and great things for the borough. We had partners of CDC who cleared some of the myths that we have about Ebola, and they shared things such as what they're doing back home, such as partnering up with organizations such as Cellcom, Orange, and such, and they clarified certain information for us. We congratulated Pasina because it was her birthday, of course, and Fatima here got engaged, so that was another big big deal to celebrate. Councilwoman Vanessa Gibson graced us with her honor along with Margaret Asamoah, her assistant, and they shared so much information such as safety and gun violence and drugs, things that the NYPD is doing right now to help with excessive force, chokehold. They're being all retrained, and talked about mental health, domestic violence, African leadership. We also had Robert and Mr. Momodu Dohone, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, who are also looking to raise funds to create a documentary on the artistic level. We are also graced by one of the partners at New York Life, who is also my boss, who came to share some of the things that they're doing for the African American market. Ideas such as tax diversification and raising financially responsible kids. And we also were graced by the presence of Hakim Imani, Community Board 1, and Bronx Supreme FC, which is a new soccer team built by a few young Africans, and they demanded for our support. That's more or less some of it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Now, motion that we accept the minutes as is and move it into archives. Can I get a second?
I raise a second motion.
In favor? All right.
Aye.
Thank you. Next report will be my report, which is a summary of this past month. As you know, we've been very busy. One of the things we've been focused on is the situation in our community. We try to tackle issues as they come, and we try to work with city and state government in order to resolve it. We had some success. I'll first start with some of the success. One of our newest members, Mr. Chams Lipkin, he's recently got a city council citation for the hard work he's been doing in the Benin community. He's the leader of the Benin Association of New York. And he's been doing a lot of work with his community and the community at large. So if we can give him a round of applause. I also want to congratulate the social committee for putting together an excellent event, and they'll talk more about it during their doing that report for the soccer tournament, in which they focused on Ebola also, and it brought it full circle. Stephanie, please. Community, in addition to the council that have been working hard on the Ebola initiative within our respective community. And it's incumbent upon us to recognize them and use that moment to recognize them and bring further outreach to Ebola on the continent that's affecting countries such as mine, to the impact that it's having here in the U.S. And it was a great event, and I thank Ambrose, and we can't forget our liaison. I don't think he's been mentioned enough, because this gentleman at the soccer tournament, every single day he was there, and sometimes we don't give folks that praise when they do good. So I tried to do as much. So he was there, he committed, he had his role, and he was there every single day, backing up the social committee chair like what he should do. So thank you, Maury.
Thank you.
We also had a Borough Town Hall event in which Tracy would touch more upon. It was a success as well. But the issue that we focused on this month was the issue of Usman Drame and his two sons. As you all are aware of it, it was all on the news. These two young boys that were assaulted at school. Mr. Drame here brought it to council attention. And one thing that we do is we advocate on behalf of members in our community. Like I said before, it was good that it happened to him out of anyone else, because he's a leader within his community. He's the controller of the Senegalese Association of New York. And he knew exactly where to go. And because of that, we was able to bring awareness to it. And with that, we had subsequent meetings. One of the meetings we had was with the Commissioner of Outreach, the Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs, Bronx Borough Director Alvin Garcia, NYPD Chief of Community Affairs, Joanne Chafee, NYPD School Safety Division, Inspector Charles McAvoy. And we had a great event. This discussion was focused on, okay, we know this has happened. What is the next step? What do we do next? And from that discussion, we decided that we're going to partner up on this, because we can't do it alone. It's about law enforcement, it's about city government working in collaboration with folks on the ground, so we can make sure that these things actually reach the people on the ground. We also talked about messages, right? Because we're having town halls, but the town hall is not meeting the needs of everyone. How do we utilize our media, our grassroots media, in order to get information on the ground? So when folks feel they're being stigmatized or marginalized, they know where to call, they know how to reach out to law enforcement, they feel safe, etc. So it was a great conversation, and we're looking to continue the conversation and do more in collaboration. We also had a meeting with the Jewish community, the Korean community, and Bronx Community College. We all came together in solidarity. I'd like to thank Rabbi Bob and the Senegalese Association. They organized the conversation. We also had John Park, who is the president of the Korean Community Association, was there also. And this was in solidarity. They really, this conversation was, we understood what happened. We want to come there, we want to be there for you guys. And we left the conversation saying, let's work together. Let's partner up. We want to be there for your community, and we want you to be there for our community. So there's going to be subsequent conversation. I'll keep everyone abreast on it, on what comes from it. But it looks to be a great partnership. We also had the media. Sometimes they say media is bad, right? The media capture too much of the Ebola and create this large stigmatization that exists. But in this situation, it was good. CNN, NBC, NBS, NBC in New York won, along with some international coverage. We got international coverage from Germany, the German news channel that's here. We got from Brazil, from Africa. So the news covered this, and it helped bring greater awareness to this issue, because oftentimes, people sit at home. Things happen to them. Instead of them going to the proper authorities, they stay at home. Because we're a largely immigrant population, so they stay at home instead of bringing awareness to it. But because Mr. Usman here was brave enough to come forward, be the face of it, more and more folks are coming out and say, hey, listen, this happened to me. How can you help me? One of the things that we didn't even pay attention to was how this is impacting our small business, because we are very much an entrepreneurial community, and our small businesses, they're hurting in this time. They're not receiving that same patron. This one hairstylist who owns a business, she had mentioned, she said, listen, my business has been cut in half. And I spoke with one of my past patrons, and she was very open and frank with me. And when I asked her, what happened, and she said, well, I was gonna come to you, but someone said you might get Ebola. So it's those things, that's hurting our economy as well, and we're looking for, we're looking for greater outreach, greater education, and greater partnership with city government. I also want to do some brief housekeeping. Dr. Badi contacted me this evening. He gives his regards, but he will not be able to make it. Dr. Badi is the chair of the Interfaith Committee. I also want to make note to some of our new members. Amadou Diallo, who is serving as our secretary. Mohamed Diallo. Mohamed Diallo. Amadou over here. Amadou, I'm going to have you come up for 1 second and introduce yourself, since you haven't yet. But let me go through the names, okay? Okay. All right. Don Kayembe, who is our communication director. He recently had a car accident, that's why he's not here this evening. Chams Lipkin, our new appointed member, he will come up and say just a few words. Scott Awate, and as I mentioned, Mohammed. So I would like Richard, you can please bring the chair. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Amadou Diallo. First, I was founding president for Futa Islamic Center, the largest Guinean community masjid in the Bronx. It was founded in 1999. And currently, I'm serving as president of 5,000 member organization called Union for Development. We call it in our language Portal Fibanta, African Advisory Council. And it is the largest immigrant, coalition that actually support the diaspora goals and aspiration in this country. We are largely emerging, African immigrants into this country. What we try to do at the same time, not only to live in this country, but at the same time to encourage our people to integrate. So many of us come from different backgrounds.
Thank you.
So,
thank you. Well, next new member, Chams Lipkin from the Benin community. Please introduce yourself, community you serve, etc.
Hi guys, my name is Chams Lipkin, and I'm the Secretary General for Benin Association in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So recently we become a non-profit organization with our 501c3, and we introduced a new project we call like Dahomey Drumming and Dancing, which is a new genre of dancing and drumming we are bringing to New York and New Jersey and Connecticut. So we are working very hard on that, on many projects.
Because the information that we share here goes back to the folks in the grassroots, goes back to the folks within their respective community. So with that said, I submit in my report to the archive. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Yeah.
Next on our agenda is update from the elected official. First one is the Bronx Borough President Ruby Diaz's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tracy McDermott. I'm Director of Community Services for Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. Welcome. And it's been quite a busy couple of weeks. Want to first of all start off by congratulating the AAC for really rising to the occasion in responding effectively to this Ebola crisis, and you should all deserve a round of applause for what you've been able to do. So congratulations. As many of you know, when the borough president first formed this council several years ago, a large part of it was to find out who the leaders were in this diverse African community, and also part of it was to know who they are in times of crisis. And we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We knew who everybody was, and we were able to respond quickly and effectively, so thank you. It's been a very busy couple of weeks from dealing with the Ebola crisis. Last week we had an effective community forum that we co-sponsored with the Department of Health and the New York City Department of Immigrant Affairs, and we have to continue this dialogue. We have to, just like Charles was mentioning about the African hair braiding business, we have to debunk all these myths, making sure that our businesses continue to thrive, that our people don't get stigmatized. And I'm very sorry what happened to your family. It should never have happened. So we need to continue to be out there talking about this issue, making sure that nobody else gets stigmatized, and if they do, they know who to turn to. And on a fun note, as Charles was mentioning also, we had a great soccer tournament award ceremony, and that was a good thing, and really had a good time coming together on that. And just a notice, November 15th through February 15th begins the open enrollment for health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. If you haven't enrolled by then, you generally have to wait for the next enrollment period. So if you need to speak to someone, there are people called navigators. There's I hope you've recovered, and and it's been an exciting time. And also Barnes & Noble, I don't know if you know, we have one bookstore here, and they wanted to leave, and the borough president stepped in and helped negotiate between the landowner and the store, and we were successful in maintaining our bookstore. And we have to continue to look out for I wish we could have more bookstores, but we cannot afford to lose the one that we do have. So thank you very much, and take it. Thank you.
Thank you. This time we're going to have Congressman Serrano's office.
Hello everyone, my name is Ramon Cabral. I'm Community Liaison for Congressman Serrano. So Congressman Serrano was at the press conference with Mr. Drame's kids, and sorry that happened, but just wanted to remind everyone that Ebola is not something that can be easily contagious, and trying to avoid the stigma that's been happening to the African community, and we just kind of want to remind everyone, and see that this moves along well, and just avoid everything. So just new initiatives that we have in the district. We have some community safety and economic development initiatives that are happening. Just want to keep it short, so for more information you can call the office. Our district director, Amanda Septimo, she will inform everyone or anyone who calls on more information. So thank you.
Thank you. And Assemblyman Blake's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Sanchez, and I'm the representative of the newly elected Assemblymember Michael Blake of the 79th Assembly District. And we thank you for having us here. I'm here today to provide some contact information before we're sworn in, and so you know how to contact us. So first, we have a transition office. It's still open through January. It's at 1149 Boston Road. The cross street is 167th Street. Our offices are open Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to about 5:30 p.m. You can call that office number at 718-842-2019. To personally reach us in regards to issues going on in the community, you can email me, John Sanchez, at john79districtbx@gmail.com. And I'll be the representative attending the future meetings for the African Advisory Council. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. Before we get to the presentation, I just want to recognize one of our new members also. He just came in. Scott Awate, please, Scott, step up, say a couple words.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I'm late. So, as I mentioned before, I spent 2 years in Sierra Leone, so this feels like home to me, you know, to be a part of this group. So thanks again.
Thank you, sir. All right, with the presentation, I'm gonna make a quick adjustment to the presentation. There's Mariama Diallo that will be speaking first. She will be speaking on disability within the African community and with respect to our organization. Mariama, are you ready? All right.
Hello, hi.
Please come up here.
Much of your time. My name is Mariama Diallo, and I'm the founder of the MyBA organization, which will be a nonprofit organization hopefully in the future for Africans with disabilities. And mainly the mission for the organization will be to mobilize and improve the quality of life of disabled people in the African community. There's a lot of stigmatization that goes on with people with disabilities in the African community, and just growing up as a little girl and being disabled and just hearing a lot of negativities in the way, and also seeing other people like me go through this type of stigmatization is something that I would like to stop, and also help people like me to improve their life through education and self-esteem. And the vision is to actively work on providing and introducing opportunity for disabled people, increasing the number of African amputees in all areas of sports, help build their self-esteem, and through support group and peer counseling. And also, enabling disabled Africans to be given the opportunity to become successful as they pursue their passion in life. At MyBA, we are looking to anticipate and change the African community when it comes to disability. And I remember I have a little girl who's 2 years old, about to be 2 years old. And I remember during my pregnancy being very worried of what am I going to do once I have this little baby. How am I going to wash her? How am I going to carry on with her? It's going to be hard. And I have another thing to prove among the community, which is I can do this. I said it from when I was a little girl. I can do it. I don't need help. I may need help sometimes, but I realize it's something that I can do, and even if I need help, I will reach out. But I would like to provide a center where people like me can come and feel at home and know that there is help. And also another time, I was hired by a company. By the way, I have my bachelor's degree. MyBA, M-A-I-B-A.
What is it?
M for Mary.
M as in Mary, A as in apple, I, B as in boy, A as in apple.
Okay, so stay here. Is there any questions?
I have a question.
I'm sorry? You have a website? No, not yet. But I will definitely send out the information.
And
Who can help you?
and we help your organization, but you also do a study for us regarding the impact of being disabled in the African community.
Thank you, I am honored.
Thank you. I know I'm going to butcher your name.
Okay.
So I said butcher.
Professor Renee.
Professor Renee from the CUNY Language Immersion Program. I met Professor Renee. She reached out to me from Jean, and she told me about this great program that they have at CUNY. So I told her to come here and share it. Professor, but don't worry, we'll give it up.
Okay.
Just do the presentation. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, especially thank you to Charles for inviting me tonight. As he mentioned, I'm Professor Renee. I'm an English professor at Bronx Community College. I teach English as a second language. And one of the problems, the reason I got in contact with Charles in the first place was because our program is overwhelmingly Hispanic at the moment. And I've lived in New York for 15 years, and I know for a fact that we are underserving the African community if we do not reach out to you. So that's why I'm here tonight. I'm here to tell you about the program that I work for and to invite you to apply to our program and to send other people that you know to us. So let's see, we'll start. So the first half of this is in English, and of course the second half is in French. So the back half is in French. So I'm a professor at Bronx Community, as I mentioned, and I work for a program called CLIP. CLIP stands for CUNY Language Immersion Program. And the whole purpose of our program is to provide low-cost, intensive English classes for new immigrants. Normally, a student might come from another country, and they would apply to the college, and they would immediately get put into ESL classes. And those classes are very expensive. They can cost up to $1,000 up to $2,000 for a class, and you might get 8 hours of instruction per week. At the CUNY Language Immersion Program, we offer 4 months per semester, I should say, 25 hours a week of instruction for a 4-month semester for $180.
Wow.
Much more affordable,
Yes.
much more affordable. If you're on public assistance, you pay even less. You pay $45 for the semester. I'm sorry? Please ask questions. It's a bargain. I'm sorry. So, CLIP has been in existence for 19 years. The reason why we formed a program called CLIP was because so many of our students were coming to the university and they were put directly into those ESL classes, and yes, they were given financial aid. However, by the time their English was high enough to enter the university classes, they had spent all of their financial aid. So CLIP was designed to avoid that, to give a student a chance to get their English skills high enough so that they could come into the university already prepared. So students are allowed to spend 1 year in the program. You can spend up to 1 year, and then after that, our funding for each student gets cut off, unfortunately. However, during the year that you're with us, we give you a very intensive program. You have reading, you have writing, you have pronunciation, listening. We take our students on field trips. I took my students to the Museum of Modern Art, the Museum of the Moving Image. We went to Governor's Island last year. All of our English classes are context-based. That means, go ahead.
Yeah, please, your program is after the CTW text or before the CTW text?
I'm sorry, it's before?
The CTW text, the CUNY CTW text.
Ah, yes, okay.
Is it after or before?
Students who come into our program should take a series of tests. You must first apply to the city university.
Before we go to the next item on the agenda, I would like to call Kathleen Cujo. Please come up here, Kathleen. We usually have a yearly soccer tournament, and it's very male-dominated. This year was the first year that we decided, under the leadership of the Social Committee Chair, Ambrose, to infuse women into it. Because we realize that, listen, soccer is not just for men, you know, men and women can play soccer, you know. And
thank you all very much, and I appreciate it very well. You're never too young or too old if you're here. We look forward to see you next year summer and join us.
Okay, one more item before we move on to the next item on the agenda. We have some of the members of the AAC. I just want us to just run through, just say your name and the country you're from, so folks can see the diversity. And your organization you may represent.
Amadou Diallo, President Portal Bantal Union for Progress and Development from Guinea, West Africa.
My name is Mori Kuyate, and I'm the liaison for the African Advisory Council, and I'm from Guinea.
Gandhi Ambrose, Chairman of Social Committee, African Advisory Council.
From which country?
From what country?
Cameroon.
Oh, you forgot your country.
Hello everyone, my name is Pasina Bulabula. I'm the Vice Chair of the African Advisory Council, and I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which was Farmers a Year.
Okay. And I'm Charles Cooper. I'm the Chair of the African Advisory Council, and I'm from Liberia.
My name is Ousmane Dramé. I represent the Senegalese Association as a UNTATA, the Transatlantic Taxi Association. We regroup all the African cab drivers and bases on limousines services here.
Where are you from?
Senegal.
Senegal.
Senegal, yeah.
My name is Shams Lepon. I represent Benin Alliance in New York and also Benin Diaspora in the USA, and I'm from Benin Republic, who is not Benin City in Nigeria.
My name is Mohamed Diallo. I'm the secretary of the AAC, and I'm a Pan-African. I'm from everywhere.
My name is Douma Saibou. I'm from Niger. I'm the Niger Association President. Also, I'm a chair on the Economic Committee of AAC.
I think he's trying to be safe so that they don't say we're dominating the Guineans, you know. My name is Fatima Diallo. I'm the co-chair of the Economic Committee from Guinea and Gambia.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stephanie Arthur. I am the chair of the Civic Engagement Committee. Also, I represent the African Leadership Project, and I'm from Ghana.
Okay. Thank you.
Mohamed Madam, president of Yankasa Association, representing Ghana.
Okay. My name is Richard Iyasere. I'm the chair for the Act and Culture. I'm from Nigeria, and I happen to come from Benin City.
Okay.
My name is Pierre Fogab. I'm an AAC member. I'm from Cameroon.
Scott.
I'm Scott Allwater, and I am from New York.
Right.
But
tell me
no, but I'm also I also spent 2 years in Sierra Leone.
Okay, so it's a Sierra Leone. All right. So I just wanted to give everyone a glimpse of the diversity of the AAC. We're all from different places, and you know, I believe if we can all come together on this council, that speaks volume for Africa. And you can watch this event on www.africatvusa.net. Again, www.africatvusa.net. All right. Next item on the agenda, we'll get an update from Ousmane Dramé, who is the controller of the Senegalese Association, and he will give us an update. I'm sorry. Oh, do we have a? Oh, please come in. Before we move on with the presentation, We have Gustavo Rivera, representative here. Please give us an update.
Some of the other events. I am the community affairs rep at Senator Gustavo Rivera's office, and I just have some updates. One big update, our office is actually having a supply drive to combat the Ebola epidemic. We're going to be working with the Sierra Leone Nurses Association to collect supplies. We're going to have a collection of supplies at our office and work with the Sierra Leone Embassy to ship it out to some of the crumbling facilities that they have there. They're actually one of the smaller countries being affected, but they have a lack of doctors, a lack of facilities, a lack of supplies. There's a lot going on. So we're working with them to ship supplies over there. I can give you my contact information. So my email is Mohammed, MOHAMMED @nysenate.gov. So yeah, if you can spread throughout the community that we're having the supply drive. We're collecting supplies. We're starting on the 7th, tomorrow, and we're going on to the end of the month. And we'll continue to have these supply drives if there's still a need for it, which there will be. We're also looking to work with the other two countries that have been impacted the most, Guinea and Liberia. So you can definitely contact me if you would like to work together to have, another supply drive for the other countries. But we also have a number of initiatives going on. I won't speak much about it, to work with the African community, work with AAC, putting together events to really connect our office with the African community, use our office to, really politically empower our community in the Bronx. So, definitely contact me if you need to.
So where are we to bring these supplies?
To our office.
What's the address?
So it's 2432 Grand Concourse. We're on the 5th floor in Suite 506. And you can also drop them off at the Sierra Leone Nurses Association's office. It's on 188th Street in Clayton. I can email that information because it's a house.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, back to the agenda. Next item is Usman Drame, the controller and the father of the two boys that were assaulted in the Bronx school, a future member of the AAC. Usman, please give us an update.
My name is Usman Drame. What happened, it just can happen everywhere, New York is a great city. Great cities. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes the kids, sometimes things happen, but we use it like a big fire sometimes. But we can come down all the time to find a solution. Children is kids. But the grown person, or somebody rings his bell to bring supply food for, he called the supermarket in front of his children. Please don't send African people to deliver my food, okay? They have Ebola. When the children heard that, if they go to school, they have right to run away from the African babies too. A mom, from her mom, If you go to school, see African children, she said, don't touch me, my mom say, Sometimes it's good just to educate the children. And that's why we, the Senegalese Association, we try to call all the teachers who teach in the United States, African teachers. We have to sit down like 1 week, work in piece of paper to let the education department to know better this African child. They don't know we come here. They don't come to us. We come. That's why we bring our picture to show to them what to do, to explain them better. But they don't know. They really have the skill. They have the way to educate their children. We come, we join them. We have to move with them. But it's better to, if we can sit down as teacher, put in a piece of paper, show to different education. From there, that can help to educate the children, to give them piece of education, to educate their parents. But things can happen all the time with the children. That's why, I talk to my kids to make them up. Let them know what go through Malcolm X, what go through Dondel, to make them, to build their mind. They use that as tool to build them, to make them strong. You know, but you know, I'm sure we can do better. New York is no problem in this country. No problem in New York. Education. If you go to African class, everybody sits on the floor. 100 students in one classroom, only one teacher. The first time my children come back from school, they get an apple on home. They come bring that. I have an apple. They give me apple there. I say, you don't have that in Africa. He was glad to get this apple. The next day they go, they give me a laptop. But they don't have in Africa. I have a small laptop. I was doing my homework. He's ready to go back to school to touch that laptop. But in Africa, you don't see the computer. We made big giant computer like it is. We don't touch it. The data you don't touch. You know, they know they can make it. That's why, you know, don't make a big deal. Let's throw all these things in the garbage, you know. Let's educate the children at home. And what happened here in this country, too, the biggest problem is they don't trust the teacher. When the teacher have to get 100% full cover, if the student comes to the classroom, it's there for the teacher. The teacher have to have 100% full control for the children. But if the teacher is scared about the parents, is scared about the children, it's not work. In Africa, you go to school, the teacher beat you so bad. If you go home, you tell your father, he beat you too, you know. But here, you see the teacher do that. My children say, hey, this boy cursed the teacher. I said, don't try to do that. Don't try to do that. Last time you want to go to school, you want to say, wear the white shoes. I said, why you want to do that? I said, somebody wear white shoes there. I said, look, don't do that. The teacher said, black shoes, wear black shoes, okay? Don't say somebody wear white shoes, you have to do it. Don't do that. You know, but that things, let's not do it.
So how is the baby when?
Yeah, I changed school. You know, they're happy. They go to school. They're happy to enjoy it. I said, you know, they're happy. You know, the problem is just kids. Let's go back to kids. You know, they're children. You know, the police ask me if they can go arrest them. I say, I don't arrest children. I don't arrest children. Let them don't go to their house. When it's not good all the time, police in contact with the children. In Africa, if you see cops, you run away. But here you see cops, hey, what's up? You do that here in America. You know, in Africa, you see cops, you use other word. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, it's different. You know.
Okay.
Want to represent to Tata? We have already.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll take a few questions.
So I didn't hear you correctly. First, did you say you transferred your children to a new school? And secondly, how are they doing in terms of their health after their...
Why I transfer them is if the school tell me the truth, I let my children there. But if I see the school try to lie, try to cover up, I see these lies, I don't let them teach my children. That's why I remove my kids. But if the school tell just the truth, tell the picture of the things, you know, I don't have any problem. I can let the kids stay. And we know it's a mistake. But if I see the teacher now, all the students know the school board lying. Even the teacher, they know. They say only one single fight, one child, they call one family, one parents. Usually if you bring all the family, okay, I'm sorry, all those kids were beating your child, I'm sorry, I say, okay, forget it, don't worry. But what did they bring one child and one parents? Say, okay, let's negotiate now. When they put a fight. It's not a fight, it's assault. Maybe my English is bad, but I'm well educated in French. You know, I know. I study law. I know what I'm doing. I tell them, look, it's not a fight. It's an assault. On two, it's not one child, on one parents. Maybe choice to beat one child who will take all the responsibility, but over 20 kids was beating them. You know that. Everybody know that. But you try to cover and bring something lying, you know. That's why I don't trust you to teach my children. But if you tell the truth, I can leave the kids there. I see some lying people, you know. I don't let them teach my children. When these kids send out to school too, no. The school was covering things, you know. The psychology is not good. It's not dangerous.
Did your kid make any report on stigmatization in the new school?
No. I do all this report. You know, we can sit down and work together. This report on suing, on these things happen in this country, you know, I don't believe that, you know. I think we can sit down.
Did they complain to you?
Yeah, see, even the incident report, they don't want to give it to me. I don't have incident report, nothing.
He's talking about the new school.
The new school is okay. They like
I'm talking, you know, I'm talking about.
Yeah, he was, yeah. They know I could do school, they like it. It's next to my house.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have a question. Is it because the kids are underage, or is there another reason why they don't want to give you the incident report? Is it because of the kid's age?
No. That has nothing to do with the kid's age.
It's not the age. Maybe, you know, what happened here, you say suing, this and that. You don't have these guys in Africa. You don't have that. You know. Yes, you have to go, you know.
Yeah,
the cover up.
Yeah, usually with the incident reports, what happens is that when there's kids' name on the incident report, they will cover it up. Exactly. But they will still give the parents a copy of the incident report. Okay. Another question. We have a hand over here. Go ahead.
I just want to be clear. So, as the father, you made the decision not to go ahead with prosecution or pressing charges against the kids that assaulted your children. That's okay. All right.
I don't press our children. Okay. I don't want them to be kicked out in school too. Let them stay and study. You know, just you know. But as a grown person, like the school, me in the school, we have some problem. You know, they try to cover something. It's not true. I don't let them happen. But the children, let them go. You know. Okay.
Now I'm curious to know, you did what you thought was right as a father to send them to a new school. Do you mind telling us how they feel about going back to school at all?
Yeah, before in the beginning, the leader was saying that I love this country, but these kids, they're crazy, they're fine. I said, what happened? They said, I want to go home. Now the children, now he's strong, you know. The little boy, the little old one, he's a tough guy, you know. He was in the Quranic school, you know, where the children fight. He said, I can fight 10 of them. The other one, the older one, he said, yeah, I can fight. The teacher told me, so I'm ready to go. But the little one is skinny, you know, he don't talk, you know, he's scared, you want to go home. I said, look. But now he come down now, yeah. Okay.
My question is, if you don't want to, let's say, go forward with what happened to your kids, and it keep repeating again, what are you going to do? Because you need to stop this. It's not only for your kids.
Exactly.
Take these children to the police station. It makes no sense. These kids, you know, here, you are here in the Bronx, you live here, you know these children. That can happen tomorrow again. You understand? What I do tomorrow, maybe Allah knows. But what I'm telling you is, for myself, I will never put the children to the hand of the police. Or I talk to his parents, maybe. I talk to his parents to find a solution.
We have 2 more questions. One, go ahead.
Yes. The reason why, see, you said that the idea came from kids' parents, all right? And then they instilled it in their kids, and then they jumped. Before they jumped, you said they spent 2 weeks calling them Ebola before they assaulted them, right? You said that. Now, if you want to protect from now on by using this example, all people of kids of African ancestry, and to also address this inherent adversarial mindset against Africans that is prevailing around, and the president is paying for it. The president of the United States is paying for it. So I think you need to move forward. One thing I want to make clear, it's not the kids you're taking to court. It doesn't work that way. That's my area of expertise. Yeah. It is the parents of the kids that pay the price of their kids' behavior, because they have a share of responsibility in the education of the kids. I just wanted to make it clear.
I don't want a children miss one day classroom. My children were some good kids. I don't want a children miss one day class, okay? I tell you, I don't tell you anything about what I'm doing with the school. The school was lying and covering. But I will never let the police take these children.
No, I'm sorry. We're not this is not a conversation back and forth. Okay? It's not a conversation back and forth.
For myself, you know, I will never put the children, you know, in jeopardy. That's my philosophy, you know. The kids live in mistake. The kids, you know, we cannot stop them.
Okay.
But the parents is at another level. The school is another level. But the children, I don't want them to be fired in school.
One more question.
Good evening. I'm joining late. I was coming from another meeting. My name is Monica Baker. I'm the Director of Education for the Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. My colleague Tracy invited me up to the meeting. I wanted to answer that question, or first I want to say thank you. You are not the first parent who has decided in some cases that they just don't want to add more kids to the system. That's just a simple, that's a heart-to-heart, that's his decision. Yeah. And we respect parents, and there are other cases where parents feel they need to move forward with a police action or a report and so forth. But we definitely support parents who choose not to do that. On the other end of that, going forward, we are asking any parent, we're asking you all, if you know of it, if it is happening, they should be calling me. And we then will reach out to the school, and we will see what the school is doing. We do handle constituent requests here in the office in the education department, so we do handle specific issues. And we will be in touch with the school, and we will be moving forward with the principal and the Department of Education, because it's sort of difficult for us to do a blanket around to each school, but if there is a specific area, a specific school where there is a problem, we want to know about it, and we will go into that school with that principal and say, and those parents then will be notified, these are the things that we are doing. But it is very, very difficult to do a full Bronx-wide sweep unless we know of a specific incident.
Physically. And I think people want to know that.
How are they doing physically?
Yeah, physically it's okay. Mentally, they come back.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah. Okay. First of all, like I said before, the very first time that we spoke, I said, this was a situation that's been going on in the community. Folks were afraid to come forward, and you coming forward will shed light on this, and it shows strength within the community. So on behalf of the council, I'd like to thank you for coming forward, for bringing this to the eye of the public, so they realize this is not a Bronx issue, this is not a New York issue, this is bigger. And this has been covered everywhere from Brazil to Germany, because folks want to hear, folks want to know, because it's impacting them too. They have immigrant African communities within that countries as well. So on behalf of the council, I'd like to thank you. This speaks volume how much folks have really been galvanized around this subject. There's these kids from Minnesota, all the way to Minnesota, and there's other ones also that's coming. And these students from the class, they wrote this letter to your young boys, and they asked for us to deliver this to you.
Also, the education department supposed to do some reform of the education system. Let me tell you something. If they teach the children how many boat of bauxite leave Guinea to get to this country. If this child know that, if he say Guinea, oh, you're from Guinea. If they teach the Liberian children, you see this diamond, it's come from Liberia. Oh, it come from Liberia. They want to know. But nothing come from Guinea, nothing come from Liberia, only Ebola, That's why the education that was supposed to teach the children. Look, since 25 years, Guinea-Conakry supply bauxite to the United States. This bauxite, we use it to do this, to do that, to do that. You know what? This light, it's come from Niger, the poorest country in Africa, supply the uranium to the United States. They use it to make electricity. If they see children even from Guinea, you do like this. But only Ebola come from Guinea. That's what they're practicing.
Thank you on that note. All right. Next presentation, we have a presentation from the School Safety Uniform Task Force, NYPD. We have Deputy Inspector Peter Bartasek. I don't know.
Common spelling. Charles, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Appreciate you inviting me. I'm here on behalf of the School Safety Division, and my name is Peter Bartasek. I'm a Deputy Inspector. I've been with the Police Department for almost 23 years, and I've been assigned to the School Safety Division for about the last 8 months. I do cover the Bronx and Manhattan. I'm in charge of the school safety task force, so I'm in charge of police officers whose sole mission is to patrol the schools. So we have a real important mission. It's a facet of the police department that it's a really extraordinary. We have approximately 5,000 school safety agents citywide that are responsible for the safety of not only the students, of course, that's our priority, but also the teachers and the Department of Education and the workers in the building, which are educating the future of New York. So it's a very important mission. I'm enjoying it very thoroughly, and the work that is being done in these schools is tremendous. You know, we all have such an important part of the kids, and you know, we all want the kids to learn and come to school in an environment that is, you know, they want to come to school. And you know, I was very heavily involved in the incident at IS 318, and the police department took that incident extremely seriously. And we won't tolerate that, and the agents won't tolerate that. And that is, you know, you have my word, we had a tremendous amount of resources dedicated to that job, and I think that the outcome, you know, hopefully that people will learn and the kids will learn that's not a joke. That was a very big deal. But moving forward, as the school year progresses, you know, we'd like to hear from anybody if there's any problems. You know, communication is so important, not only with the Department of Education, but of course with the police department. You know, your problems should be brought to our attention, and anything we can do in the school safety division, we will do it. You know, we have a great goal, and our goal is safety. You know, it's in our title. Safety of the kids, safety of the teachers, safety of the residents in and around the schools. So if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to address them if I can. If I can't, I will, you know, address them in the future. But does anyone have any questions for me regarding the school safety division, schools, anything, the police department in general?
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
You said people come forward to talk to you. Do you ask about people's immigration status? That's one reason why most immigrants don't come forward to talk.
No, that's not an issue that we would bring up. That is not an issue that we would bring up. If anyone has an issue and they want to bring it to the attention of the police department, they can bring it to us. Yes, sir.
With regards to the gentleman's issue with his children and Ebola, not moving that issue forward, does it help you to make sure it doesn't happen again in other schools or not?
Well, of course, we would never want to see a repeat. The police department, with the education, with the agents, but more importantly, the Department of Education, and I don't want to speak on their behalf, but I know that they immediately were involved citywide with education of students and letting people know about it, and if it's brought to anyone's attention of authority to take action. So this was an eye-opener of an incident, of course it was, but the police department is very concerned about it, but I also know that the Department of Education also took it very seriously. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You mentioned that there are many officers out there. I would like to know how many again, and what exactly are you doing to teach safety to schools? Are there classes? Or?
Okay. Yeah. Well, my unit is called the School Safety Task Force. I'm in charge of police officers that are assigned to schools in the Bronx and Manhattan. But we also work hand in hand with the school safety agents. Now, agents, they are members of the police department. Their sole mission is to cover schools. Now, every school in New York City that falls under the Department of Education has school safety agents. Depending upon the capacity in the school and the volume of students will depend upon how many agents are assigned to each school. Some may have 2, some may have upwards of 21, depending upon how many students are there and problems that may arise. So they do have training. School safety agents do attend an academy. It's approximately an 18-week program. They do go to, you know, schooling regarding laws. They have a physical aspect of it. So they absolutely receive training that would get them going. And then just like anything in the police department, even when I was trained 23 years ago, you learn what you learn in the academy, but you really learn from being out there, and you learn from more experienced people. So that's an important facet of our job too. When we get new agents assigned to schools, we pair them up with experienced people so they can learn how to do their job the right way. You know, what you learn in the academy is one thing, but when you're in a school dealing with 3,000 students who are changing classes, you got to know what you're doing, but it comes with experience, like anything in life. The longer you do something, the better you get at it. Yes, sir. Did that answer your question? Sort of?
Yes.
Okay.
I was just going to say that, is there anything you can say to African community to get involved or become a police officer? We have a very, very low number of Africans in law enforcement. If there's anything or way to encourage Africans to
well, I can certainly say that to become a member of the police department, it starts with a very simple thing. You have to take a test. And like when I was 17 years old, my dad took me to enter Child's High School. I sat down and I took the test. And I gave myself an option of my future. So that's how it starts. Now, it's changed. They used to have it where you would, you know, on May 23rd we'll have a test. No, now you can actually walk into a testing location and take the New York City Police Department test. Now, there's a website. If you go to the New York, does anyone know the NewYorkCity.gov website?
And I'm going to say it again. I'm looking for people or somebody who is interested in any act. If you do have some kind of a talent, you can come meet me. And we need more people in there. This is a very, very busy committee, a lot going on. And we also, Mr. Chairman, we're still continuing partnering with the Bronx Community College, with Jane, and we're having an African Film Festival coming up. The strategies are all being put in place right now. And we're looking forward towards around April, May next year.
Thank you. Any question for the chair? Okay. Thank you, Rich. Go ahead.
I have a question. Since you are in charge of culture, everything related to culture,
right.
How you reach out to African Student Association? We have many universities, not only here in Bronx, even the whole New York. When you talk about
a Thursday of the month, we're repeating this over and over, and we used to some people are used to. Art and Culture Committee is basically helping all young, talented Africans that are out there that don't know how they can exploit their talent. We go out there and help them. Some people contact me. I have a huge numbers of different places that I can direct you to, or somebody I can introduce you to. And there are a lot of other, even in the continent itself, some artists want to come to America and perform, and they don't know how or what to do.
Thank you, Rich. But in addition to that, the goal of the Arts and Culture Committee is to highlight the African culture and bring it to the mainstream. All right, so whatever your art, whatever your craft is, it's our job to help you, right? To help you market it and bring it to the greater community. So that's what the Arts and Culture does. Before we move on with the rest of the committee report, I would like to ask Commanding Officer, Deputy Chief Jason Wilcox. So please just take a couple of words.
Thank you for just giving me a couple moments of your time. My name is Deputy Chief Jason Wilcox. I represent the nearly 400 police officers and detectives that work in the Bronx. In every community in the Bronx, there are detectives that work for us. In every precinct, there is a detective squad of dedicated men and women who investigate every type of crime that you can really imagine that is going on in the Bronx. From domestic violence to child abuse, to robberies, to assaults, to very significant events such as homicides. So it's very important to understand that what I'm trying to tell you is the important role we play in public safety. The precinct and the uniform is sort of the visible aspect of what we do in the NYPD, and everybody's familiar with it. But like I said, within every precinct, in every community, there are detectives who operate and investigate the crimes that are occurring within the city, and particularly in the Bronx. And my base of operations is at 1086 Simpson Street, which is a historic landmark building. It was the old 41st Precinct. And within that building, we also house special victims, Bronx robbery, the new Grand Larceny Division, major case, which handles significant events such as bank robberies. And we also have the Bronx Homicide Squad. And it was the Bronx Homicide Squad that really played a very integral role in a tragic series of events that happened recently, and it did affect the African community, which were two homicides and robberies of livery cab drivers that occurred. And those detectives worked, I'm telling you, around the clock, and were able to identify and apprehend 4 individuals who are all in federal custody right now. So the main thing I want to tell you, and it was already touched on tonight, how important it is to come forward and report offenses. If you, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers are victims of a crime, please come forward and let us know, because that now gets us the opportunity to investigate that crime, to determine what happened, and most importantly, to help you. And that's what we're here for. We want to help you. And my phone number, my address, and my communication points have been given to the council. I want to make sure that you leave here tonight knowing that we are a resource for you, and we want to help you. And if there are any issues that you need addressed, questions, concerns that arise over any kind of crime investigation that might happen within your community, and you need to know what's going on, use my office as a resource for you. And we don't have to wait for a monthly meeting or a bi-monthly meeting. You can call us at any time, and we're here to assist you and hopefully provide you with the help that you want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we will hear from the Civic Engagement Committee, Stephanie Arthur and Mara.
So, good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Stephanie Arthur, and I am the chair of the Civic Engagement Committee, and it's really the policy arm of the organization. We do civic engagement. We talk about immigration reform. Ebola is a policy and an issue that we rallied around, so there are a host of policy issues that we focus on. Currently, what we have in the works is a planned interfaith breakfast with elected leaders, religious leaders, and civic leaders, which is slated to occur in January. What we are looking for is people, hands on the ground, right? So we need resources in terms of a venue. We need people who have access and contacts to religious leaders, not just in the Bronx. You know, our work spans New York City, but definitely our primary focus is the Bronx. So if you want to be a part of this committee, we would love to have you. I can give you my details. I'll be here if you need my information. As for right now, you can take down my number, and it's 917-830-7476.
Any question for the Civic Engagement Committee? Any question? Thank you, Stephanie. Now we'll hear from the Social Committee, Ambrose Nagan.
All right, thank you for coming. Good night. Well, all I can say is that we had a very busy year.
Differs from the civic engagement because the civic engagement focused more on policies. They're the hands and boots on the ground. So from the press conference that they organized to the soccer tournament, which bring the community together. Over 20 different teams from 20 different countries come together for this one soccer tournament. So various activities in the community to get the community together. That's what the social committee does. So thank you, Ambrose. The last committee is the Economic Development Committee. The chair, Duma Seydou, and Fatima Diallo.
Thank you. Good evening.
In the economic community, what we're trying to do is to gather information for our African businesses and African businesses and entrepreneurs, what they need to do to open the businesses or to keep the businesses open. Not only the businesses as well, and we gather information to particular people, what they need to do in their life, to sustain, economic, to sustain economy. We advise people to look into a lot of, financial advisors, investment as well. Look on people, they need to look in probably life insurance, things like that, and job as well. This month we're planning to have an event which will be called African Business Empowerment. We're planning it. It was going to be happening most likely this month in November, maybe the latest in December. This month, I got some email that came in that there will be 2 events from Start Small and Think Big. We'll be having 2 events in the month of November, which one will be on November 19th. Will be for a legal essential for small businesses, honor, and non-profit organization. And this event will be held in Brooklyn Law School, and they will be providing people, they will be providing all the business owner, entrepreneur, information about legal status, what they need to do to open the businesses, and the non-profit organization as well, what they need. The second event will be from the same partner, which is Start Small and Think Big. They will be having another business website and then website design and legal workshop. And this event will be held here in the Bronx, on 555 Bergen Avenue in the Bronx. And the timing will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Basically, that's the information I do have for you.
Yes, I'm glad that you already mentioned what we do. So what I can talk about is what we have been involved in as far as the Ebola situation. We wanted to know exactly how this is affecting the economic, situation here with the Africans, not just back home. So I had the chance to listen to someone when the conference happened with the AAC, talking about how the Ebola stigma is affecting him driving taxi, yellow cab, because he picked up a client that asked him where he was from. So just a situation like that, people would just get out of your car because you are from Africa or you're from Guinea, where the Ebola is affected. Another thing too that I had the chance to interview someone that works in the home health aid. For most of us that knows about that job, this touched me really. The fact that this woman was asked to test herself every single day to make sure that she does not have fever. And they're saying to her that if you have high fever, make sure you don't come to work, go to the hospital and check yourself, because we don't want to have the Ebola. I think that was really, it could damage the self-esteem of a person. So we mostly think about back home, the economic, how that is being affected, but it's also affecting our people here, the people that are working. When they go to work, how they look at them, or how they say, oh, you're sick, take a sick leave, or just leave, because they don't want them there.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
And just a preface on that, the Economic Development Committee, their sole purpose is economic development, job creation, entrepreneurship, any aspect that would either move the business to the next level, which may be organization structure, which means the legal aspect of business, which means how to handle your finances as a business, which may be jobs. One of the things that they're going to be working on is MWBE. MWBE stands for Minority Women Business Enterprises. As you all know, you may not know, but the city and the state have MWBE laws in place. New York City currently spends over $20 billion to procure over $20 billion a year, okay? Now, the percentage that actually goes to MWBE firm is 2%. All right. So one of the issues that they're going to be focused on is, well, how do we get our firms registered? Because when we look at city contracts ranges from everything from painters to, you know, mechanics to engineers to architect, whatever your profession is, the city and the state procures that, okay? And if you register as a MWBE, according to that legislation, there's goals set in place. And if you register as an MWBE, you're able to apply and you get preferential treatment. You know, your application or your bid gets, you know, put up there higher than other bids because they have to meet that MWBE goal. So we're trying to get away from that question of, well, you know, these firms are not certified MWBE. And one of the things that I'm going to be focused on is getting firms in the African community certified as MWBE. They're going to be working in conjunction with the Board President's Office, and they're going to be having workshops for our businesses on how do you get certified as MWBE, okay? And how to take advantage of some of the opportunities, because there's $20 billion the city spends every year on all these services. Name it, they spend it, from janitorial services to construction to X to Y to Z. And our folks in the community need to take advantage of it. So if you're interested in economic development, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, if you're interested in growing your business, that's the committee for you. All right? Thank you. Next thing on our agenda is the community announcements. Do we have any announcements? Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sheikh Tunis, originally from Sierra Leone. Yeah. Howdy, buddy. Okay, I don't have it. I'm here to make a few announcements. We are talking about organizations. I work for Citizen Committee for New York City. This is our grant season. Most of the things I've been hearing here cost money. We don't give a lot of money.
My name's Alvin Rodriguez. I went to the last two Ebola meetings, the one in the Bronx and then the one at CUNY, and it was, I'm an activist with the LaRouche Political Action Committee, and one of my fellow activists who was sick today spoke at the Wednesday event toward the end regarding mounting an emergency war plan in Africa to stop Ebola. And her intervention on that, as well as this flyer, and I have some for people, was very well received, and that's how we were invited here through conversations that took place subsequent right after the meeting. And the reason why we're saying an emergency war plan is required is because the WHO has admitted that at this current rate, 1.4 million will be infected by the end of the year. So far, the Obama administration is sending the equivalent of Band-Aids. The United States, Russia, and Japan have the capabilities to move in there with floating hospitals, all at the level 4 requirement for protection. This is, again, you need to think of a Berlin airlift, and that's what's in this report, and that's what we're asking this AAC, this esteemed body, to consider calling for, not Band-Aids. Once you get to 1.4 million infected, it's no longer an epidemic, now it's genocide. We've got to move now, we've got to get develop an international steering committee. The technology and the knowledge is there in the world, but we have to demand it. So I have these flyers. We too have an event coming up. I'll take your emails. I probably don't have enough to go around. I'll be happy to email them to you. You want to get this out to people. This can be done. We've got to get Obama to do it, or frankly, get out of the way, because there's no time to waste. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will ask, because of time constraint, keep it to 2 minutes.
I will try to see if I can do 1 minute.
Okay.
My name is Claudine. Hi, everybody. I'm from Rwanda.
Thank you.
Don't forget, okay? Send me the email.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Come on. I gotta go. Thank you.
I'm telling you a story. Your flyer, your man over on my desk. Every time
Monday or Wednesday?
During the day or?
Channel 12, right? Ah, okay, I saw you talk. I think, okay.
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm on campus. I'm on campus Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday during the day. Then I will call you one of those days, whether Monday or Wednesday. This is my first. This is my first semester at Baruch. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I come to.
that way I'll have most of them on your email. That's more important. Yeah, I'll give you the last. I know. It's good to see the family's growing. I know. This is like the second. I remember the first.